Welcome back to Superior Sunrise. Now joining me, like I said, is a very special guest, Bert Kuntz. Bert, I was really nervous about saying your last name. I didn't want to mess that up, but I want to thank you for being on this morning. Like I said, you are a special guest. I know we recently just had Veterans Day, so I want to thank you so much for your service. And speaking of that, talk about how you got involved. I know you said you're a fourth generation, but talk about how you got involved in serving.
Thanks for having me here, Kirby. Appreciate it. And thank you. Veterans Day being last week, it's an important week for us. I got involved. My background is post 9/11. I came in shortly after 9/11 in a program where I was able to go straight into Special Forces right off the street. And I was lucky enough to, on top of that, become an 18 Delta or a Special Forces medic with 1st Special Forces Group. And that's what I did most of my team time and my deployments to Iraq and the Philippines and elsewhere with 1st Special Forces Group as a Special Forces medic.
Well, I know one thing that you really do focus on is being back here now. You really try, and you are really involved in a big supporter of this, when veterans come back and getting accustomed to civilian life. Talk about that.
Yeah, it's a huge issue as far as veterans transitioning from the military to civilian life, specifically in combat MOSs or combat jobs where they're deploying to combat and they're jumping out of airplanes, helicopters, deploying and deploying and deploying year month after month after month, and then you get out and you have to kind of slam on the brakes. So for me, my big focus on transition and trying to help other men and women who transition from the military to civilian life is find something to keep that pace up. Downtime and quiet time is not very good for combat veterans, so that kind of led me to push people on that transition from military to civilian life. For me, I was fortunate enough to find some ranchers local here in Fort Worth. I have no ranching background, no background with cattle or horses, and these guys took me under their wing the last couple years here and have really mentored me. And that lifestyle is very similar to the special operations lifestyle with ranchers and ranch rodeo guys and ranch cowboys, working ranch cowboys specifically. Those guys have a fast-paced lifestyle. It's dangerous, so you have to pay attention. You have to be on the ball all the time, and they work as a team together. There's that camaraderie, that respect for each other. So that's kind of that transition I made, was going 100 miles an hour in the military, slamming on the brakes, getting out. Found some ranchers who have taken me under their wing, so to speak, and are mentoring me, and that pace kind of picked back up of having that lifestyle and that action and that being around a team like that. And so that's that transition from military to civilian life. I try and teach other veterans that are getting out, find something you love to do and put it to work for you.
Well, I know Beth said when she was telling us in the office that you were coming on, we were all very excited about it. I know that she said you had a passion for agriculture and livestock, and you just touched on that a little bit. But I also know that you have some exciting news that's going on with the History Channel. Tell us real quick about that.
I do. We have a show that I'm on coming out on History Channel. It's called the Selection Special Operations Experiment, and we took 30 civilians, both men and women, and we put them through some intense physical and mental challenges over a couple weeks. Wow.
Okay, well, I want to thank you for being on this morning, Bert, and thanks again for your service. We really, really do appreciate it. And we really appreciate you coming down to the stockyards and joining us.
Absolutely.
We come back, Angela Vesco with the Gelby Association. Don't go anywhere.